What's up, fellas? It's time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes on a lovely Thursday morning here. As usual, we are not live, but we are thrilled to be here, as always. And I'm joined by Tyler Moody from Louisiana. I just kind of rushed in here because I had an audition for a commercial that was outrageous that I can't wait to be a part of. Don't want to spoil that. Last night, big stew finer dinner. As always, a lot of fun. There are rumors of a very large guest hitting the Barstool office here in about 40 minutes that I can't wait to meet. Before we get into that, though, shout out Corey Rutledge, Lucas, and our team. We aired a new Stella Blue, the first ever Stella Blue Dude Wipes mashup commercial together that debuted yesterday, and it got quite a response. So let's give the people what they want here. Man, I love fall. Leaves are changing, football, and Stella Blue coffee. And this season, maple pumpkin pie. But my morning routine would not be complete without pumpkin spice Dude Wipes.
Oh, Mintzy, let it rip.
Cheers, furry fellas. Coffee that fuels you, wipes that clean you.
That's some home cooking.
Blue and Dude Wipes bundles, what could possibly be better? And it's perfect for your morning routine. You wake up, you drink some Stella Blue, you end up using some Dude Wipes, and then we go turn the heat up for Wake Up Mintzy. Let's go, Moody. How are you this morning?
Hey, what's up, brother? How we doing?
Doing good, man. What did you think about that commercial?
I love that commercial. Corey's creativity is absolutely incredible. He's hang on, I gotta take that out of my head. His ability to come up with just genius idea after idea after idea baffles me because I'm not that creative. I'm not funny in that way. And Corey's ability to come up with these creative ass ideas never ceases to amaze me, Vince.
Me too, man. Blows me away. But that commercial was got quite the response on social media yesterday. Shout out Stella Blue and Dude Wipes for sponsoring our show. It's the only way to start the day. And Moody, it's Thursday. I'm in a good mood. You're in a good mood. Let's talk some football. Let's make some damn money. That's how I feel about it. Let's get on the DraftKings app. Let's go through some point spreads. And let's find some stuff. And let's make the people some money. Because that's what we're all about. We want people to have a good time watching football, be entertained, and you might as well make a few dollars while you're at it. What could be better? And we've got a big week of NFL. Starting tonight, we got some college football as well this weekend. And it all starts tonight. Kind of an old rivalry, Northeast deal, New England Patriots going into MetLife to play the Jets. Jets 1-1. You know, kind of an up-and-down performance. Will Levis kind of gave another one away. But, hey, win's a win. Jets are 1-1. Mm-hmm. Patriots 1-1. Pretty good 1-1 considering how the Patriots, what everybody expected. You know, I mean, won at Cincinnati, lost in overtime in a really competitive game to Seattle. Jacoby Brissett got a little banged up last week. Looks like he's going to go. Jets, I believe, I'm seeing 6.5 point favorite here. Low over under of 38. I can see why there's a lower over under here. I just don't really see either one of these teams playing shootouts. As always, we're DraftKings partners. Get on the DraftKings app. Join us. I believe you deposit $5, you get 200 in bonus bets. So you can't really beat that. My instincts on this sort of like New England. Am I crazy?
Here's what I think. My initial instincts told me the New York Jets. But this is not the same Patriots team that we've watched over the last, 15, 16 football games where they were running a quarterback out there that was completely incompetent. The defense had kind of given up on the head coach. This is not that same team as last year. Like the Patriots are playing really strong defensive football to open up the season. They're getting better quarterback play out of Jacoby Brissett than they got last season. So yes, my instincts tell me the Jets, but I can't roll with the Jets here because I think the Patriots are better than we realize right now, Mintzy. I really do. So if I'm taking a side here, I would actually go under 38.5. I don't see either one of these teams blowing out the other one. So I'm going under 38.5 in this spot because I cannot. I haven't seen enough from the Jets in the early part of the season here to make me believe that they are going to blow out a good defense. So Aaron Rodgers has looked mediocre at best to open up the season, even though the run game with Breece Hall has looked good. I just think the Patriots will be able to keep this a close football game. And because of that, I'm going to go under 38.5 because I just don't see either offense exploding.
Well, I've got a stat for you, Moody. 6-point underdogs or bigger so far this year in the NFL. 8-0 against the spread.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild. So, and this is a division matchup, short week, lower scoring game. Give me the +6 in New England here. I think they're going to fight. And I agree with you.
I love it. But it's like it feels like the right side to take New England here +6, but it's not one that I really love because I haven't seen anything that wows me about this Patriots team. They're playing solid fundamental football right now, especially on the defensive side. But let's be honest, this is not a team that has the firepower to go blow somebody out. So
yeah, they have the least yards for wide receivers through 2 weeks, like almost like one of the most least in NFL history.
It makes sense. They don't really have an elite receiver on the outside. Like Jalen Polk is okay, Demario Douglas okay, but these are dudes that are like they would be the number 4 receiver of most teams, and the Patriots are trying to make them into number 1s.
Yeah, no, but I'm looking forward to it because, look, you know how football season is. Once it starts, you're just like all in, immersed in it, and you've got Monday night, you got Thursday night. Yeah, I still like the high school Friday and college just on Friday. You got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Those Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it's like I know we're spoiled, but it's like once it starts, not having it just feels like a crime. It's just not cool, and so I'm ready to get this thing going again. But I'm leaning Pats. I might go under too. In this game.
Any props that you like in this one? Like
let's take a look at him, man. I've been going under on Rodgers
over here. Yeah, our boy Dees was saying that he was going under on Rodgers passing yards at 215.
I've been going under. I've gone under Rodgers the last 2 weeks and won. I mean, I think that's a good play because I think the Jets are trying to run the ball with Breece Hall. This can be a defensive battle. I like the under. I don't know. I think Rodgers. I mean, he's still rusty, figuring some things out. I don't think, you and I both said we didn't think he'd be like chunking around the yard this year. It just doesn't seem like he is.
No, and they're not built to do that. They only have one elite receiver, Garrett Wilson. Everybody else is just a guy. I know Lazard caught 2 touchdown passes in week 1, but let's be honest, he's just a red zone threat at best. Breece Hall is the catalyst for this offense. Everything goes through him. He's the one that's going to have big games. I just don't see games where Rodgers is going to throw for 300-plus yards. The Jets are built to beat you with the defense and the run and have efficient quarterback play, and Aaron Rodgers can be that, but he's not going to be the gunslinger that we've seen in his MVP caliber seasons.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, well, that's my thoughts on tonight. Let's get to Sunday and run through these games, and as always, appreciate everybody joining us. Love breaking it down. Moody, you've been pretty hot on that NFL.
Yeah, I'm 9-4-1 to open up the season. I was 4-2 last week. And one thing that we do for our Pick'em show that I do with my boy Patrick Netherton on Fridays is we have to pick LSU, Dallas, and New Orleans. So I'm like forced to pick those 3 games each week. And then I give my 4 or 5 picks that are my favorites. And so my favorites to open up the season are like 7-2, like 7-2-1 or something. So I feel pretty good about my games that I've been giving out to this point, Ben.
I went more selective on NFL last week and actually went 2-1 on the ones I gave out. And I said I leaned under Monday night and won, but I didn't give it out as an official play. But yeah, so I'm slightly under 500 in NFL, and I'm 21-9 in college football. It's been I'm so pumped about what I'm doing in college. I spent time researching it in August. I've been all over the board, and I'll touch on a couple of my favorites when we're done with NFL. All right, Bears at Colts Sunday. Colts by 1.5, 43. What a quarterback matchup. Caleb Williams and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, this is actually one game that I do like. I'm taking the Colts minus 1.5.
Me too. Actually, this is one of my favorite games of the week.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't love the line, though. I feel like the Colts should be 3-point favorites here. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from the Bears that I like. They were so lucky to escape week 1 with a win. That defense won them that game. I think the Colts will show up enough here. Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor in the run game, they make this a short contest, and they cover a 1.5-point line that I think should be 3 at minimum. Yeah,
I think the Colts are in a great bounce-back spot, too, after losing outright as a road favorite. And the Bears, I mean, they won week 1. They shouldn't have. I took Bears plus 6.5, didn't give it out as a pick. Sunday night, I got away with murder in that game, dude. They should have lost by 3 or 4 touchdowns. I can't believe they covered that spread. Like, it's like crazy because they couldn't do anything on offense. But I actually think Anthony Richardson has a game on the ground here. I think this is a breakout game because the Colts are 0-2. They need to win. They're going to run him. And I think he's going to have a good game here. So that's kind of my thoughts on that one. Denver at Tampa. Tampa 6.5 and 40. How did this come down from 7 to 6.5? Who the hell's betting on Denver? If you've watched either one of these games and watched the way Bo Nix looks in the NFL, who's got money to say, you know what I want to do? I want to take him on the road against the hot Bucs. The Bucs might be a little public, I thought, but it seems like it's coming down. I mean, I definitely lean Tampa. I'd say, how's Denver going to do anything?
I'm a little bit on the other side of this. I think Tampa has played over their heads, and I think Denver has underachieved at this point. I can understand people being on the Denver side. I'm staying away from this game because
Okay.
I think Denver's a sneaky play here. I think they're one of the sneakiest plays of the week. Everybody's hating on Sean Payton for the way he played last week. Bo Nix has not looked good. He's not throwing the football more than 7 yards down the field. And on the other side, you've got Baker Mayfield, who's lighting it up. Looks like an MVP caliber quarterback. This is normally when Vegas gets people, right?
No,
These
agreed. This one does look weird. I agree with that.
It looks weird. So this is one that I'm just flat out staying away from. You got the hot Bucks, the dead Broncos. This is where Vegas makes money. So I'm staying far away from this game. I think the Broncos are a sneaky play, though.
Next one's really physical matchup. Very interesting. Battle of 2-0 teams. Steelers by 1.5 at home over the Chargers in Pittsburgh, 36. I mean, I see why it's 36. This is not going to – you know what this game's going to be. Somebody's winning 17-14, somebody's winning 17-14, you know.
I see 35.5 in some places. Yeah, this is one that I'm staying away from as well. I think the Chargers win this. I would take the points with the Chargers here. I think they're the more complete team, but that's not saying a whole lot. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched enough of Pittsburgh. They're probably the team that I've watched the least to this point as well. So I need to make sure I watch them this week whenever they take on the Chargers. But I would lean to the LA side, but this is one that I'm staying away from, Ben.
As always, Wake Up Mintzy presented by Dude White. Find them at Amazon, Walmart, Target, nationwide, all over the World Wide Web. And, hey, it's fall. Check out the Dumpkin Spice. I mean, what could be more fall than Dumpkin Spice flavored Dude Wipes? I bring up Dude Wipes because I think Daniel Jones is going to have a mess to clean up in Cleveland. I think this is the game where he looked bad week one. He looked okay last week because he was playing a terrible Commanders secondary. I think this is a game where the wheels completely fall off in Cleveland against that defensive line. Cleveland 6.5. It's just so hard to take Cleveland laying points with the way Watson's playing. But my biggest thing is just Daniel Jones is going to have a really bad game Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm all over this one. I love the Browns minus 6.5. I think they win this game and win it handily. I think Dante Foreman is going to have a lot of carries out of the backfield. They really started to work him in over Jerome Ford in week 2. I expect the Browns to win this game with their defense and the run game. A lot of short fields for them. They're going to take advantage of that awful offensive line play from the Giants. They're going to hit Daniel Jones, which we all love to see, or at least I personally love to see that. Daniel Jones on his ass and Dante Foreman running in 3-yard touchdowns all day. Give me the Browns minus 6.5 here.
Yeah, I lean Cleveland there too. I could see the logic on that. Cleveland's not that bad. That was a good win last week.
No, Cleveland, everybody's got this bad taste in their mouth from week 1. Dallas came out with the perfect game plan. It unraveled quickly for the Browns. I mean, it was like that snowball effect. When things start going wrong, they can get out of hand quickly, and that's what happened to the Browns in week 1. Everybody penalized them too much for the result in week 1, and they forgot how damn talented this roster is. I understand that Watson's not the guy that we once saw in Houston, but this roster from top to bottom is really, really talented. They've got players at every single level, especially on the defensive line, and that is where the Giants struggle the most, is blocking an aggressive defensive line. I like the Browns.
Yeah, I do too. Green Bay's +2 at Tennessee, 38. Jordan Love, they're saying, is going to try to go now. The line will change a lot if he goes. Tennessee won't be favored anymore. I actually have I can't believe I'm saying this, but if Malik Willis starts, I like the Titans a little bit. I know that's crazy.
I like the under no matter who's playing quarterback for the Titans. This is not – I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Titans or the Packers. Both of these teams are very good defensively. They really are. The Titans have impressed me so far in the first couple of weeks. The Packers, their secondary is good. They lock people down. I lean Green Bay here because I don't trust the Titans. But if I'm taking anything in this game, it's going to be under 37.5. This is one I'll probably just stay away from. A few too many variables.
Houston Texans at Minnesota. What a fun game this matchup is. Stephon Diggs going back to the old stomping grounds. Battle of surprised Minnesota 2-0. Nobody really saw that coming. Great win over the Niners. They avoided a major disaster with Justin Jefferson. And that was a big win over the Niners. Houston won 19-13 over the Bears, but I think they're still really, really good. How do you feel about this one?
This is my favorite game of the week. I hate taking road favorites, but I'm taking a road favorite right here. Houston is much better than Minnesota from top to bottom. I think the Vikings are a good football team, but I think they've overachieved to this point. I think Houston is more complete. I think the Texans are going to win a lot of games this season by 4, 5, 6 points. Like they're not going to blow a ton of teams out because that's not the way they're built. They want to play good defensive football and be efficient on offense. And I think we're going to see more of that in this game against Minnesota. So give me the Texans -2. It's my favorite play against the spread this entire week, man.
Okay, you love Houston.
I love Houston here. Yeah,
I'm looking for.
I think they're just really complete.
No, I think Houston's just an elite team, man. I mean, I love. You saw it Sunday night, that pass rush with Will Anderson, that flying off the edge with Danielle Hunter, who actually was an old Minnesota Viking too. So look out for him in this game. Stingley at corner. They've got everything. They really do look good. And Stroud, I think, could have a big breakout too.
Yeah, this feels like a great spot for Stroud and Diggs to take advantage of a Viking secondary. That's okay. I mean, they've played pretty decent in the first 2 weeks, but they weren't supposed to be elite. I think this is where the Texans take advantage of them. And one thing that everybody's talking about in the chat over here is they don't like betting unders. And this is something that you and I have talked about. Overs are so popular. They're more.
It's fun. Nobody likes. This is a point for the chat. I agree with the chat thing. There's nothing more boring and worse than betting an under and watching a game. Like if you bet the under, you almost just like want to follow the box score because it's like, what do you want to do? Sit around and cheer for nothing to happen?
But there is a lot of money to be made in betting the unders because the public is always on the over side. It's just people want to see points. They're more likely to throw their money on the over. We see the under, especially in ugly games, make people a lot of money, and it's been good to me over the last couple of years.
No, it is, but it's not. I agree with the chat, though. There's
not
nothing
fun.
No, there's nothing fun about it. I mean, like they said, life's too short to bet the under, but I like money. That's my thoughts.
I like plus EV plays. That's what I like.
All right, Eagles at Saints. This is a fun one. Saints 2.5, 49.5 in the Dome. No A.J. Brown, I think, is just so big for Philly. Like, I watched that passing game. It takes a big hurting without him. I thought the Saints might be 3 in this because it looks a little ratty. But, man, I ain't going against the Saints in the momentum right now. The Dome's going to be freaking rocking on Sunday, too, for the first time. We're going to be like the old days in the Superdome again. People are so fired up. I don't love it, but I like it. I'm taking the Saints by 2.5, but I'm being a little guarded.
I'm right there with you. Since I have to pick this game for Friday, I'm going to take the Saints -2.5 as well. But I don't love it. This feels like a trap spot. The Saints are playing so good. The whole world is all of a sudden on New Orleans. They're forgetting Philly's a pretty good football team, even without A.J. Brown. I actually like the under in this game more than anything. A lot of points have been scored by the Saints the first 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. This is kind of the fade in the perception moment, right? All of a sudden, the Saints are this elite offense. Everybody can't believe that they're scoring 44 points every game. They were awful for a big chunk of last season offensively. I expect slight regression. People are going to see what they've been doing over the first 2 weeks, and they will adjust. So I'm not saying the Saints are going to fall off. That's not what I'm saying here. I just think slight regression is inevitable for this offense, and I like the under here because the Saints' defense has played good. The Eagles have been getting run on just a little bit, but that's still a talented group defensively. I expect them to get it right. I would lean under in the Saints -2.5. But I don't love it. This is definitely not one of my favorite plays of the week, man.
I like the Saints. That's all I got. I don't have an opinion on the total. Carolina going to Andy Dalton. Boy, that Bryce Young year was something. 2-17 as a starter. And now they're going to Andy Dalton in week 3. Carolina's +5 at the Raiders. I like the Raiders still. I mean, I think Dalton will take a little bit better care of the football, but they're still not going to really score any points. They're not explosive. And I think the Raiders, man, you got to give them some credit for coming back and finding a way in Baltimore last week. Nobody thought they'd win that game.
Nobody thought they were going to win that game. This Raiders team is scrappy. I mean, it's Gardner Minshew's mentality to just like fight his way back and make games a contest. And so I think the Raiders win this game. I expect the Panthers to come out and be better though. Like if you say, hey, I'm taking Carolina +5 here, wouldn't be mad at you by any means. But this is one that has too many variables, 2 quarterbacks that I don't trust. So I'm staying far away from this game, Vince.
Skylar Thompson starting for Miami. Gosh, man, I think this is bad for Miami. They're +4.5 at Seattle. I know McDaniel's a good coach. He'll coach them up, but Man, I kind of Seattle looks a little obvious here, but man, Miami's just got to be so deflated after this Tua thing, and now you got a trip across the Northwest, and Seattle's 2-0, feeling kind of hot. I don't know. I kind of lean Seattle here. I don't love it though.
I think the smart play is probably Seattle. You're right. I think the Dolphins. How can the Dolphins go into this week confident, especially on the offensive side of the football? I just don't know that unless they have a great week of practice from Stephen Thompson and he's just chunking the ball down the field and finding
Skyler.
Yeah, like it's just I don't know, man. I don't trust. I don't trust the Dolphins, but I don't trust Seattle either. I'm not big on what I've seen from the Seahawks. I know they're 2-0. It's looked a little to me. I'm far away from this game. This is probably my least favorite game of the entire week, so I'm staying far away from it.
All right, body count.
One question before we move on to this one, though. From this one, could you see a scenario where the Dolphins trade for another quarterback, say maybe a Matthew Stafford?
I know that's come up and been talked about media this week. Mm-hmm. The only thing is Tua's contract. I mean, how do you do it with the money? Because Tua just
Stafford's only due $4 million next year as a bonus, I believe, which is very interesting. Like I think his number next season's like incredibly low for some reason. So I don't know.
I don't know. Well, the Tua thing, he's on IR for 4 weeks. I mean, do we know he's out? We don't know anything more than that, right?
Yeah, it's about all we know at this point. It's going to come down to him and whether or not he wants to get back on an NFL field at some point. Like, I think doctors are going to clear him because of his contract. Because if he is, if he has to medically retire, then I think the team is on the hook for his money. And if he retires, then they're not on the hook for the money. So I expect him to always be medically cleared. Like, that's a shit ton of money that's on the line for the Dolphins. And they're going to medically clear him time after time after time, in my opinion. So it's going to be up to Tua if he wants to go out there and continue to put himself in these situations. And I got a feeling for the money and for the love of the game that he will be back on the back on the field for the Dolphins at some point. Whether or not it's this year is my question, but I do expect to see him playing again at some point for the Dolphins.
All right. 49ers by 7 at the LA Rams. Body count in this game. Both teams dealing with so many injuries. No Debo, no McCaffrey for the Niners. The Rams, I mean, who's even left? I mean, no Cooper Kupp, no Nukwa, bad offensive line injuries. I'm banging the under big here. I really like under 44.5. I think this one's going to be kind of ugly.
I think the 49ers are going to light the Rams up here. The Rams have looked awful defensively.
I know. It feels like the season may be about to be over already.
The season, that's what I'm saying. I think the Rams, a team that I was high on coming into this season, I loved the pieces they had offensively. I thought they were just going to light it up every single game. And then all their guys got hurt. And now it's putting a lot of pressure on this defense, which is not good. They've lost so many pieces over the last couple years. The secondary is basically just barren. I think the 49ers come out and kick the shit out of the Rams in this game. I actually like over 44 because I think the 49ers are going to put up some serious points in this game. I love Brock Purdy and a bounce-back effort. I think he's going to light up that secondary. Love the 49ers -7 on the road. This will be the first game this season that a team covers a spread of 6 points or more. This is the one.
The Niners do it. All right. Yep. I like the under a lot. Lions by 3 in Arizona. Boy, Moody, I got to give you credit. The Kyler Murray train. You were leading it.
Well, it was so obvious, right? People forget how talented a player is because they have a bad stretch. If a player is truly talented, they're going to get back to the point that they should be. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Kyler Murray. He's returned to form. The legs are healthy. There was that touchdown pass that he threw where he scrambled around for a solid 10 seconds and then threw a dime. And while the ball is hanging in the air, turns around to celebrate, was one of the coldest freaking things I have seen this entire season from an NFL player. Kyler Murray is on fire right now, and I think the Lions are going to try and put that fire out. I think this is going to be a very good football game. Very good. I understand why the Lions are favored by 3 on the road. I think they're the better football team as far as top to bottom defensively and offensively, but this should be a very fun game. I like the over as well, Ben.
Yeah, I think it's going to get buck wild. And the Lions are due to play an over because golf's kind of struggled. They played 2 unders the first 2 weeks of the year in games that had high over-unders. I don't know. I just feel like
their defense is pretty good, and Jared Goff is not playing great just yet. But I think this is the kind of week where you turn it around against a Cardinals secondary that's been not too good. The Cardinals have been good against the run, though. They've done a great job the first 2 weeks of shutting down the run. but there's definitely some yards to be had on the back end against that defense. And I think this will be the game where Goff and company take advantage.
All right, Ravens by 1 at Dallas. This is the hard one to read. Ravens are 0-2 and need it bad. Dallas, after that horrible effort against the Saints, you got to expect some kind of a bounce back.
Yeah, I would think so. The fact that the Ravens are favored on the road here was a little surprising to me. Dallas is such a public team. They're at home where they have been incredibly good. This line scares the shit out of me. I don't know. I'm going to have to pick it, so I'll probably end up taking Dallas. I don't have an answer for you on this game yet, Ben. So I'd love to hear your opinion over mine, because this is one that just I
agree. I mean, I've had the exact same problem with this one. Because I just have a hard time imagining the Ravens 0-3, but Dallas is good at home, and you got to think there's going to be a bounce back, because that was so bad. It was so bad last week. So I guess I'd lean Dallas if anything. Over/under's hot 49, because those games get wild to Dallas. I'm mad at myself missing that Saints Cowboys over last week. That was one I should have had. That was one I should have been on.
Yeah, no, I just can't. Like you said, I can't imagine the Ravens falling to 0-3. I can't see Dallas going 1-2 and both of their losses being at home. So this is one where something has to give. I lean Dallas, but I don't love it at all. I have to make a decision before tomorrow because I have to give it out. But currently, I'm leaning Dallas.
Okay. Chiefs-Falcons Sunday night. Is this the game Mahomes finally gets it going again after the tough matchups against the Ravens and Bengals? I think this one in the Dome in Atlanta off a big win. Cousins played a hell of a lot better Monday night. This is going to be a fun game. I like over 46.5. I think this is a game that finally.
Love over 46.5. Love Patrick Mahomes in this game. Xavier Worthy on the turf. Rashee Rice, man, he looks so cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a good route runner. Man, he's good. This is the week where you're going to see this Chiefs offense unleashed through the air. They have tried to be very balanced. They knew what the game plan was going into the Cincinnati game. Run the football down their throats with Pacheco, and they executed that. They did enough to win the game. Well, this week they don't have a reliable back in the backfield. And Samaje Perine is the guy that I think is going to step up the most, and he's best in passing situations. So I think the Chiefs are going to come out, sling the football around, try and put up a lot of points against a mediocre defense from the Falcons. They've looked okay the first 2 weeks, but this is not a great defense. I think the Chiefs light it up this week through the air. Give me Patrick Mahomes overs. Give me Xavier Worthy overs, and I'm probably going to stack that with Rashee Rice overs as well. I really like the Chiefs in this spot.
I like the over in this game a good bit, and I hope you're right about the Worthy big game in fantasy. We got 2 Monday night games this week. I love it. I love it when they do this. Jaguars +5 at Buffalo, 45.5. Something about this one feels weird to me. I feel like how Buffalo had that dominant effort against Miami. Jacksonville looked terrible on Sunday. They blew the Miami game week 1. Horrible effort against Cleveland. But Jacksonville's had some success against Buffalo the last few years. Granted, the games have kind of been down in Jacksonville. I kind of lean under, and I lean Jacksonville on the points here, which I don't know why. My instincts are just going off on it.
Well, one Buffalo does is they play to their opponent. It doesn't matter who they are playing. If they're playing the best team in the NFL, they're going to play A+ football that week. If they're playing a C-tier team, they're going to play C football that week. It's just the way Buffalo's built. I don't understand it. They just rarely beat the shit out of teams. It happens occasionally, of course, but they tend to play close games. So I would lean Jacksonville in this spot as well. And the Jags are better than an 0-2 team. Cleveland's solid, whether people want to admit it or not. Cleveland's a solid team. Jacksonville is okay. I think I'd take Jags +5 here, but this is one that I probably will be staying away from because I don't feel strong about it.
Okay. Well, I'll lean the Jags. And then finally, we got the LSU Heisman Trophy quarterback battle in Cincinnati. Bengals 7.5 and 47 over the Commanders. My honest thoughts are Jamar Chase props. This is the week for him. He's been having this contract and all these problems, and the Washington Commanders secondary is just what the doctor ordered to get him and Burrow going again.
They are probably the worst secondary in the NFL. I have watched a lot of the Commanders over the first 2 weeks because I've got Jaden Daniels as my QB in a couple leagues. I've been watching a ton of them. Their secondary is so bad. I expect Cincinnati to score a lot of points. I like over 47.5 in this game because I think the Commanders can score as well.
The only thing they're going to run it, though.
I actually like Washington plus 7.5 because I think
The
they're just gonna
Bengals
stay
don't blow
close. I think
people. Bengals don't blow people
they
out
don't.
that much.
They don't blow people out, and Jaden Daniels is just good enough to compete. I'm watching this guy, and he is a damn football player. Jaden Daniels is everything that Caleb Williams dreams he can be when he goes to sleep at night. You know, like Jaden Daniels is a real football player. I love watching him out there on the field. Sure, he's going to make some mistakes. He's young, and he plays wild at times, which I think whenever you have some shitty players around you, you have to do as a quarterback. You have to create. Jaden Daniels does that. I like Washington plus 7.5. I just think they're going to be in a lot of football games this season because of how talented he is, despite their defense being freaking terrible.
It's bad, and their receiving core is bad too. But I like the running game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. One thing that surprised me is Terry McLaurin has been virtually non-existent the first couple of weeks.
I know.
And that shocked me because I thought he was going to be kind of the security blanket for Jaden Daniels. But Daniels, one thing he does not do, he doesn't lock onto a receiver. He goes through his progressions, and if it's not there, he pulls it down and runs. And I like what I'm seeing as far as how he's approaching the passing versus the running. He's using it correctly, and that's why he's picking up 16, 17, 18 yards whenever he does decide to pull it down and scramble.
Yeah, and I think also while he's healthy, I feel like he might get banged up from running at some point, and that'll really hurt them.
Did you see the spot where he got slammed into the ground and had to come out for a second? I mean, his ribs, I'm worried about him. He is small, and I definitely have concerns about Jaden Daniels. But when he's on the field, kid's got game.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. College, a few games I want to touch on. Tennessee, Oklahoma is the biggest game Saturday. A lot of fascinating storylines. It's Oklahoma's first SEC game ever, hosted a Saturday night game. Josh Heupel won the national championship as a quarterback at Oklahoma. Now he leads Tennessee back there. I usually don't take road favorites, but, man, I got to stick by my preseason analysis. I had Tennessee as a playoff team, and I had Oklahoma 6-6, and I've seen nothing to think either one of those analyses are wrong. And I just can't see Tennessee letting down in the spot with Heupel, how much it's going to mean to him going to Oklahoma. I just don't see it. I don't think Jackson Arnold's very good right now. And Oklahoma's receiving core is a mess. And their offensive line sucks, and Tennessee's got a great defensive line. So I think it's a tough matchup.
Everything that I've seen from Tennessee to this point suggests that they are the real deal. So I'm right there with you. Oklahoma's schedule is tough. They're about to run through the gauntlet in the SEC and find out what SEC play is all about. How many Lucy's at the end of the week? How many Lucy's do you pull out of your pouches?
Probably a few. Great product, intelligent nicotine, for sure. I like the over in Kansas, West Virginia. I think LSU. It sucks that LSU's 24 over UCLA, but they're going to kill them. UCLA is just one of the worst teams in the country. That I'm a little hesitant on taking Ole Miss by 35.5 this week because Week 4 the last few years is the first game before SEC, the last game before SEC, and it kind of feels like they've let the gas off. And Kiffin's good friends with Clay Helton too because they go back to USC together. So I don't know. I'm a little gun-shy on taking the Rebels this week.
I watched I'm sure you saw it, the Jackson Dart hype video that was going around.
Dude, that was wild.
It got me pumped up. Hey,
that was
Jackson,
pretty.
He's fun, bro. He's fun.
It was pretty funny. USC's by 5 is at Michigan's interesting. I think Michigan's about to fall off a cliff. I said that before the year. I just they don't have a quarterback. They don't have an offense. They play decent defense, but I don't know. USC's got a lot tougher up front. They impressed me with that defensive line and how well they stopped the run against LSU. So I think they should go in and handle them.
Yeah, and look, in college football, the coach is so damn important. I just think that it's way more important than in the NFL, at least in my opinion. You have to have a coach that week in and week out can get your guys not only prepared X's and O's wise, but gets them ready to play. And I just don't think Michigan has that right now. They went from a guy that's an NFL caliber head coach to a guy that's not. And I'm not trying to hate there, but the regression for Michigan was inevitable, no doubt.
Kind of a Barstool show going to Arkansas. I actually kind of like Arkansas +3 here. I think things are really about to get bad at Auburn this year, especially with their quarterback situation.
Who finishes at the bottom of the SEC this year? Who's the worst?
Mississippi State. They're horrible.
They've been pretty awful.
Dude, you get blown out at home by a MAC team. Who's going to win this, though? Florida at Mississippi State. Somebody's going to win Saturday.
That's a shitty game.
Whew, that's a bad one. Florida's a 6-point road favorite. I can't take Florida laying 6 on the road. I can't do it. It's bad. That one's rough.
Mississippi State fan, Ben Mintz.
Clearly. Hell no. Don't ever say that again. Cal, can Florida State go 0-4? I think it's very possible. Cal plus 2.5 at Florida State. Cal won at Auburn. Got a pretty good running game and defense. This Florida State thing, it's like falling into a bottomless pit.
Yeah, they're awful, which is crazy. DJU was supposed to be the savior. He's the guy that's going to lead us, and that has not been the case. The Seminoles, man, they have fallen from grace. Michigan's the same way. Like, two teams that were supposed to be the cream of the crop last season have just fallen off the face of the earth. And this is I kind of enjoy it because they're two schools that I've always disliked for some reason. So I kind of like it. I don't know.
Miami at South Florida is fun. Cam Ward's tearing it up. Maybe the Heisman frontrunner for Miami. South Florida's competed with Alabama into the fourth quarter on the road. They got a good dual threat quarterback in Byron Brown. Like Alex Golesh, that coach. I'm just kind of looking forward to watching this game. I feel like you're supposed to take South Florida plus 16.5, but Miami's offense is scoring so many points that concerns me a little bit. But looking forward to it. That's kind of one of the more entertaining games. And as I mentioned, Tennessee and Oklahoma, the headliner. That's kind of most of Saturday. I'm ready. Look. Oh, got to mention this too. The first ever Booty versus Manning quarterback matchup Saturday in ULM, Texas. How did Josh or John David never play against Peyton or Eli? How is that even possible? So, I mean, it's Louisiana quarterback history.
Is Arch – I mean, he's like – do you think that he takes the starting quarterback position at some point this year?
Well, Quinn Ewers has this. Right? He has an abs. Quinn Ewers is hurt right now. He's out for a while.
Oh, is he?
No, dude. Arch had 5. Dude, Arch had 5 touchdowns Saturday. Quinn Ewers has like an ab strain and then Arch came in and had like a 70-yard touchdown the first play on a run. And
I saw that. I thought that they were just putting him in the game because it was they were already winning handily. I thought
Quinn's hurt. I don't know how long he's out, but I know Arch is starting this game. So
it'll be fun then because I got a chance to call a couple of his games in high school when he was at Newman for VSN, and I mean, just the kid was electric as a high schooler. His ability to use his legs, and we saw that on the long 70-yard touchdown run. Like, he's way more athletic than anybody in the Manning family has ever been.
He's got his grandfather. He's got his grandfather's name, and his grandfather could run too.
Okay, yeah, but true. But thinking about Peyton and Eli, two guys that just couldn't run the football at all, and now you've got Arch that's a legitimate threat with the legs, and he's got the arm talent. This kid's scary.
I mean, and look, it happened right after Cooper Manning, his dad, came on Wake Up Mintzy, so who knows? Who knows?
That's a good point.
And finally, I think BYU might fight Kansas State plus 6 at home. That looks like a trap game a little bit. So, but that's most of what I got. We got to get out of here because there's a huge interview. It's about to take place in 5 minutes in the studio. We got to clear it, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens. Looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be awesome, man. Oh, check out the Fantasy Football Factory pod. It's out, presented by DraftKings. Get your lineups ready for Week 3. Play with us in the Pardon My Take $5 league. And then check out DraftKings for everything. Thanks to Dude Wipes and Stella Blue. Man, I love football. Let's go have a day. Man, I love fall. The leaves are changing. Football and Stella Blue coffee. And this season, maple pumpkin pie. But my morning routine would not be complete without Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes.
Oh, Mintzy, let it rip.
Cheers, furry fellas. Coffee that fuels you, wipes that clean you.